May we please rise for the Nigerian national anthem. Please be seated.
Experts do acknowledge that the credibility of an election isn't dependent solely on what happens on the day of voting. The process is critical, and the campaigns are crucial. It is for that reason, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, that the National Peace Committee, under its auspices, is yet again organizing this peace accord. And this is a solemn event. We have seen how, on account of the moral force of the National Peace Committee and the Peace Accord, it has been invited to a number of off-cycle governorship elections. And candidates and their parties, and largely their supporters, have adhered to the spirit and letter of the Peace Accord. It will be the duty of the chairman of the National Peace Committee, His Excellency General Abdulsalami Alhaji Abubakar, DCFR, to formally welcome all of us to this event. Your Excellency General Abubakar, it's my privilege and honor to formally request you to deliver your welcome address. A senior citizen now, so he has all the privileges of taking his time to come to the podium.
To this very important event, that is the signing of the first peace accord for the 2023 general elections. In particular, I would like to welcome the political parties, their chairmen, and presidential candidates, including their spokesperson, as well as media aides and consultants. I would also like to welcome the diplomatic community, particularly the ambassadors of EU, US, UK, France, Germany, and our colleagues from the UN, ECOWAS, and UNOWAS. Furthermore, I would like our partners, particularly the INEC chairman and his commissioners, civil society organizations, media houses, and everyone who has responded to our invitation to come to be the chief witness to the signing of this peace accord on issue-based campaigns. Your Excellencies, in 2015, the National Peace Committee signed only one peace accord, committing the then candidates to accepting the outcome of the votes as long as they are adjudged to be free, fair, and credible. In 2019, the same peace accord was signed twice, both close to the elections, to commit the candidates to a peaceful electoral process. This feat was repeated during the off-season election in different states. Your Excellencies, the Peace Committee would like to thank the political parties, party chairmen, candidates, and indeed all members for turning up in both 2015 and 2019. Despite all the challenges, our efforts contributed significantly to mitigating the violent conflicts in these elections. Now, the 2023 general election is around the corner. Issues of major concern that have the potential to negatively impact on the integrity are emerging. One of such issues is the spread of fake news. Thus, fake news and misinformation continue to pose a significant threat to 2023 general elections. I'm told already the fake news have also declared the winner so far, even before the election. It has shifted focus away from the issue-based campaigns and created the platform for political parties to resort to name-calling, personal insults, and character assassination. Furthermore, it has taken away our civility and decency in public discourse and conversations and created a toxic atmosphere that has the potential to incite citizens against the state, against other political parties and candidates. It is for this reason that the National Peace Committee has organized the signing of 2 peace accords for the 2023 general elections. The first peace accord, which holds today, is to commit all political parties, presidential candidates, and their spokesperson to peaceful political campaigns and rallies, devoid of violence, incitement, and personal insult, but also to define by issues at the very heart of the national development and progress. The second accord, God willing, will come up shortly before the election, and it is intended to commit the candidates to accepting the outcome of the votes as long as it is adjudged to be free, fair, and credible. We hope this will take place sometimes in January next year. Your Excellencies, it is time for us to promote issue-based campaigns. We are calling on politicians to address issues that are fundamental to the Nigerian citizens. We also want to promote respect, tolerance for differences in opinions. We want to ensure that there is civility and decency in public discourse. Therefore, on behalf of all the members of the National Peace Committee and all Nigerians, I'm appealing to the political parties, party chairmen, candidates, and their spokesperson to please campaign on the basis of issues that are of significant concern to Nigerians. Please avoid the spread of fake news, personal attacks, and insults, and comply with the spirit and letter of the accord. Finally, I want to appeal to the electorate themselves to know that the issue of malpractices held by the electorate themselves does no good to our electoral process. Finally, I would like to thank all the members of the Peace Committee for their commitment and dedication to the peace and unity of this country. I would also want to thank the European Union and the Swiss for their partnership and support. I will also want to thank the Honorable Minister FCT for allowing us to use this edifice. I also want to thank the staff who have worked tirelessly to get this place ready for this signing process. May God bless Nigeria. May we continue to enjoy peace. May peace return back to our country. God bless all of you. Thank you very much.
The founder of Channels Television, Dr. John Mom, OON, that is Officer of the Order of the Niger, is also a member. And the seriousness attached to this event is indicated by the fact that nearly all of the members of the Peace Committee are here today.
Your Excellency, the EU Ambassador to Nigeria and other members of the Diplomatic Corps, National Commissioners of INEC, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank the National Peace Committee for organizing this important event and for the opportunity to deliver a goodwill message on behalf of the Independent National Electoral Commission. Twice in 2015 and 2019, political parties and candidates committed themselves to peaceful elections by signing the National Peace Accord organized by the National Peace Committee. The success of the National Peace Accord at the national level for the general election led to demand by stakeholders for the devolution of the same effort to major off-cycle elections at state level. In response, the National Peace Committee organized the Peace Accord ahead of the governorship elections in Edo in September 2020 and subsequently in 4 more elections. The result is not only the peaceful conduct of these elections, but that the process keeps improving one election after another. Today, the National Peace Committee is taking another giant step by inviting political parties and candidates to commit to peaceful electioneering campaigns. This is important considering the connection between peaceful campaigns on the one hand and peaceful and credible elections on the other. The Commission appreciates the positive role of the Peace Committee in the progressive improvement of our elections in Nigeria. The Electoral Act 2022 provides for campaign in public by political parties not later than 150 days before polling day. Accordingly, campaign by political parties for the 2023 general elections officially commenced yesterday, Wednesday, 28 September 2022. This will continue until 24 hours before polling day, that is 23rd February 2023, for national elections, presidential and national assembly, and 9th March 2023 for state elections, governorship, and houses of assembly. The implication is that for the next 148 days, political parties, candidates, and their supporters are free to traverse the country, holding meetings, rallies, processions, and door-to-door campaigns. They will grant interviews, sponsor indoor and outdoor advertisements, and publish other campaign materials. This is often a period, very delicate period indeed, characterized by excitement and anxiety. In line with the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022, and in our determination to play our role as regulator, the Independent National Electoral Commission will vigorously monitor compliance to ensure that parties shun abusive, intemperate, or slanderous language, as well as insinuations or innuendos likely to provoke a breach of the peace during the electioneering campaigns. Similarly, the Commission will also closely monitor compliance with the limits on campaign spending as enshrined in the Electoral Act. There are sanctions provided by law. Political parties and candidates should study and familiarize themselves with the electoral legal framework to avoid any infraction of the law and the unhappy consequences that will follow any act of misdemeanor. For emphasis, I would like to draw attention to the provision of Section 95, subsection 2 of the Electoral Act. This is because in the past, so many political parties approached the Commission and complained. But Section 95, subsection 2 of the Electoral Act makes it illegal for state apparatus, meaning the power of incumbency, to be used to the advantage or disadvantage of any political party or candidate, including the denial of the use of state facilities, public media organizations, or exorbitant charges for outdoor advertising, especially in terms of signages and billboards. And the law also prescribes penalties for any infraction. The 2023 general election will be conducted for 1,491 constituencies nationwide, made up of 1 presidential constituency, 28 governorship elections. In 8 states, the governorship elections are conducted off-cycle, like the last 2 elections conducted in Ekiti and Oshun. We have 109 senatorial districts, 360 federal constituencies, and 993 state constituencies. Every constituency is important. Every election is important. Therefore, the commitment to peaceful and issue-based electioneering campaign should resonate beyond the 18-party chairmen and presidential candidates here today. It is not enough to simply sign the peace accord. What is more important is to abide by its letter and spirit. You should similarly pass the message to all your candidates, members, and supporters across the country for compliance. This will be your own way of showing appreciation for the work of the National Peace Committee and an affirmation of your contribution to electoral peace in Nigeria. The Chairman of the National Peace Committee, Your Excellency General Abdulsalami Abubakar, members of the Peace Committee, INEC appreciates our partnership with you for peaceful elections, and may God continue to bless our efforts. I thank you very much.
I am most heartily commend General Abdulsalami Abubakar, the former head of state and the national chairman of Peace Committee, as well as other most respected members of the committee, for their patriotism, national service, personal sacrifices, exemplary commitment to the advancement of our beloved nation's diplomatic journey. By this vision of the National Peace Committee, the Peace Accord signing event have now become an invaluable and integral component of our democratic practices. The significance of this initiative lies in the fact that it places moral burden on political actors triggers their sense of patriotism and challenges them to place national interests above narrow personal consideration in the legitimate pursuit of their political ambitions. Your Excellency, it could be appreciated that at various local and international engagements, the President Muhammadu Buhari, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, has consistently affirmed his commitment to bequeathing a legacy of deepened democratic system and credible electoral process to the nation. In furtherance to this, Mr. President has constantly charged all agencies linked to the democratic process, including the Independent National Electoral Commission, the Nigeria Police Force, and other security agencies, as well as all political parties, to internalize the ethics of democracy, which emphasizes the supremacy of the will of the citizens as freely returned expressed in election cycles under a peaceful and stable security political order. It is also noted that Mr. President continues to strengthen the legal framework, processes, and the capacity of institutions that are statutorily involved in the electoral system of the country. Today's event complements Mr. President's initiative. This is the event, or this is to the extent that it strives to build a cross-political and all-inclusive consensus in committing political parties, candidates, and their agents to the path of conducting their campaigns in a peaceful manner and in due consideration of overriding national security interests towards a credible 2023 general elections. In aid of this process, it is essential that this unique forum be utilized to remind all political parties, citizens, and other strategic stakeholders in the electoral process of key provisions of the Electoral Act 2022 as amended, in relation to conducts that could negate the spirit and intention of this peace accord. In this regard, our attention needs to be drawn to the electoral offenses as captured in Section 225, subsection 3 of the Constitution, prohibiting political parties from holding funds or other assets outside the country. This is complemented by Section 88 to 93 of the Electoral Act as amended, containing provisions on campaigning financing, election expenses, limit of donations by individuals to fund political campaigns as a candidate, falsification of documents relating to election documents, and funding limits are allowed by law. Cognizance must also be given duly to Section 94 to 102 of the Act, which contains provisions of offenses relating to campaigns by political parties and the expected conducts by strategic actors in the process, including the obligations of INEC, the media, the police, and other security agencies. Under these sections, the police are mandated for the following job. 1, provide adequate security for processing and political rallies and campaigns. 2, resolve conflicts of time and venue between parties in a consultative manner. And 3, not to prevent any registered political party from holding rallies, processions, or meetings. The Act also prohibits political parties and their agents from violative conduct, such as 1, political campaigns or slogans must not contain abusive language or use of languages that are disrespectful to religious, ethnic, or tribal beliefs. 2, abusive, slanderous, extreme, vile insinuations or inferences likely to provoke violence must not be used in political campaigns. Places designated for religious worship, the police station, and other public offices must not be used for political campaigns, rallies, and processions, nor to promote, propagate, or attack political parties or their candidates or their programs and ideologies. The use of fear and intimidation, such as use of masquerades, physical force or coercion in any form, including the retention and the use of private security organizations, groups of individuals, or purpose of providing security at processions is prohibited. Section 81 of the Act and Section 227 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria prohibits any political party or individuals from organizing, training, or equipping or deploying any quasi-military groups or specifically trained forces for partisan goals in the electioneering campaign or broad electoral process. These include persons or groups trained for the purpose of forcing or coercion or promoting any political objective or interest. Political parties and their agents are also prohibited from either directly or indirectly threatening a person with the use of force or violence during any political campaign, or to compel or support or refrain from supporting a political party or candidates. In addition, political parties are statutorily requested to undertake their campaign within the prescribed time or period. The Electoral Act also prohibits the possession of offensive weapons or missiles at any rally, procession, or voting center. In relation to the conduct of the media practitioners, the Act provides thus: that a person or electronic media or body corporate must not broadcast, publish, advertise, or circulate any material for the purpose of promoting or opposing a political party or the election of a particular candidate over the radio, television, newspaper, magazine, handbill, or any print electronic media whatsoever for 24 hours immediately before any polling day. State media must not be used for anything against or any political party or for any political party or candidate. Media houses shall allot equal time, coverage, and opportunities to all parties and candidates. In this regard, I wish to call on the National Broadcasting Commission to note these provisions and ensure that the activities of the media practitioners are regulated accordingly. Against these highlights, Section 117 to 132 of the Act specifically identifies various electoral offenses, including forgery of electoral documents, disorderly conduct, propagating of falsehood, unlawful possession of firearms and offensive items, impersonation of voters' threat, bribery and inducement of electorates, among others. In relation to electoral officials, the Act identifies the dereliction of duty by electoral officials and act of omission to do any act by electoral officials in breach of official duty, failure to report promptly at polling units on an election day without lawful excuse, failure to discharge lawful duties at polling units without lawful excuse, knowingly publishing or announcing false results, knowingly delivering or causing to be delivered a false certificate of return to any news media, knowingly conspiring to make false declaration as a result of offenses. All these offenses which attract judicial punishment or fines or items of imprisonment upon conviction constitute major threats to our electoral processes, democratic advancement, and the national security. As we sign the peace accord, it is incumbent on all the political parties and all other strategic stakeholders that I have mentioned earlier in the electoral process to be committed to sensitizing their members and officials to be conscious of these provisions and resolve to avoid freely and patriotically contravening them in the interest of our democracy and national security. I must at this juncture commend INEC for optimally leveraging on cutting-edge information and communication technology tools and introducing innovative actions that have proven to be effective in mitigating electoral offenses of multiple voting, for instance, multiple voting or result altercation while on transit to collection centers, and effects of ballot box snatching. These are offenses that can no longer be very, very viable because of the innovations of INEC. While these initiatives have deepened our democracy, It is worrisome that political actors are unrelenting in exploring new acts directed at circumventing the electoral process. One of such is the ignoble and unlawful acts of vote buying and attempted cyber attacks on INEC's cybers. We appreciate the assurances of INEC chairman to continually safeguard the electoral process and to assure of support of the Nigeria Police Force. I wish to appeal to party officials to conduct their campaigns in a peaceful manner, devoid of ethnic, religious, hateful rhetoric that could incite violence and aggravate insecurity in the nation, while avoiding deployment of unauthorized security outfits to advance their interests in any manner. In drawing on specific examples, there are currently not less than 88 different quasi-sub-national security outfits established by state governments, local governments, as well as other non-state regulated security outfits across the country under various nomenclatures. We have been dealing with reports of the deployment of some of these outfits to advance partisan interests in the countdown to the 2023 general election. Aside this situation, where political actors as part of the electioneering campaign process engage in hate speeches, cyberbullying, false information, and guided statements that could inflame the political space as well as corrupting the electoral process through vote buying or encouraging thuggery and political violence, ballot box snatching, illegal firearms dealing to advance political motives and subvert the free will of the electors are potent dangers to our democracy. As we witness the signing of the peace accord, I call on all political actors across party lines to, in the overriding national security interests, seal the document from their heart and, as patriotic citizens, respected statements who appreciate that there must be a peaceful Nigeria for their personal and collective political ambition to strive. On our part, as the lead agency in the election security process, I assure all political parties, the citizens, and the international community of our firm determination to synergize with INEC leaderships of all political parties at all levels, civil society organizations, the military, intelligence community, and other security agencies and all other strategic stakeholders in guaranteeing a peaceful electioneering campaign engagement by all political parties towards delivering a credible 2023 general election. In furtherance of this, we have commenced a set of actions to sensitize the political class on conducts that could pitch them against the law as the electioneering campaign commences. These include issuing a public statement affirming that all quasi-pseudo and sub-national security outfits are banned from electoral space as they have no statutory roles to play in the process. Any attempt, therefore, by any political actor at any level to form or deploy such outfits to advance partisan interests will amount to an offense punishable under the Electoral Act. The Nigeria Police shall perform its statutory mandate of enforcing the law by bringing such persons to any other person whose act violates the electoral law to justice. In this regard, I have already directed all the commissioners of police across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT to meet with the leadership of all political parties and the resident electoral commissioners in their states towards mutually evolving the campaign schedules in a manner that will address possible cross-party conflicts in terms of date, time, and venue. I assure you that a level playing field and adequate security will be provided to all political parties during the campaigns. I, however, wish to specifically appeal to all political parties to cooperate with the Nigeria Police and other security agents in this process and in our general strive to ensure a peaceful electioneering campaign across the country. On this note, I convey my goodwill message to this strategic gathering and that of all other security agencies, including the military and the party and pray that Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should continually perfect our beloved nations in the process of getting better. Thank you and God bless.
The chairman of INEC, chairman of political parties, presidential candidates, civil society organizations, members of the media, colleagues from the international community. I'm truly honored to address you briefly on the occasion of the signing of the first National Peace Accord ahead of the 2023 general elections. In 2015, Nigeria set an example for Africa and for the world with the transition of power from one civilian administration to a new one. It is our hope, as a long-standing partner and supporter of Nigeria's democratic governance, that as we move towards 2023 general elections, Nigeria will continue to take new and decisive steps to see a further consolidation of democracy through peaceful, inclusive, credible and transparent elections. As the largest democracy in Africa, Nigerian elections do matter, and not only for Nigeria. Nigeria's election will also be about the future of democracy in West Africa and the continent. This is why they are so important. Nigeria has an opportunity to lead, to contribute to reversing the trend of undemocratic change of power, and through its leadership, consolidate democracy in the region and beyond. As leaders of political parties and presidential candidates, you have a vital role to play in ensuring peaceful elections, in engaging in peaceful and issue-based campaigns, in taking a firm stance against violence, against hate speech, against misinformation and fake news. As you well know, in politics, words do count. And as political leaders, you are role models for your candidates, for your supporters, for voters, and for citizens. The 2015 and 2019 peace accords facilitated by the National Peace Committee played a vital role, and we welcome the commitments taken today. All stakeholders have a role to play. INEC, we should all lend our support to and respect the fundamental and independent role of INEC. INEC should be allowed to operate free from outside pressure, and in return for the trust increasingly placed in them, demonstrate neutrality and professionalism, guarding jealously their independence and delivering an effective and efficient process for all. Security forces, in fulfilling their critical role, will have to keep their neutrality and guarantee safety of all campaigners and voters, and in particular of women, people with disabilities, and other vulnerable groups. And we welcome today the presence of the Inspector General of Police representing the service chiefs. The media, as our transparency watchdogs, campaign platforms, and public educators should also adhere to their own common code of conduct. These shared responsibilities are crucial at all levels. I wish to commend the role of the National Peace Committee and the leadership of His Excellency, former Head of State, General Abdulsalami Abubakar. Your role has been vital in 2015 and 2019, and you demonstrate once again today the importance and the relevance of the committee ahead of the 2023 general elections. As for the international community, and for the European Union and its member states in particular, we wish to reiterate our commitment and our support, but also to stress our impartiality. We are not here to support any particular party or any particular candidate. We are here, at your invitation, to support the process through international expertise, independent observation, and support for key institutions. We are committed to continue supporting the consolidation of the democratic process in Nigeria with our technical support, sharing of experience and good practices, and political engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the European Union, its member states, and international partners here present, I wish to congratulate you all on today's historic and important step in the adoption of the first National Peace Accord ahead of the next elections. Thank you for listening.
Presidential candidates, party chairmen, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Naomi Oloyede. I'm 14 years old. I am here to address you on behalf of our generation who will be in power from the 2050. Our dear country has been a subject of controversy. A lot of blame has been passed around with you, our parents and grandparents trading blames. No matter how much you trade the blame, somebody is responsible. Many people are afraid of the future. We are afraid. I see that over 20 million of my brothers and sisters are currently out of school. We, the children, believe that our environment has been destroyed in trying to satisfy the greed of different generations of Nigerians. However, the good news is that a time will come when our country will be peaceful because there will be no oil money to share anymore. By that time, our country will be using our brains, not our religion, ethnicity, or social class as a means of being important. I just want to transport you to that period when some of you may have retired and no longer active to the scheme of things. This is the way the world is. And as the Holy Book says, a generation comes and another generation goes. By 2050, if I become president, there will be no fighting during election because our generation would have found a cure for corruption, violence, and stealing of votes using technology. By 2050, as president, I would not need 20 cars following me because there will be no need for that. Again, by 2050, we would have found a cure for hunger because food production will not be a problem. To every leader and stakeholder here today, I want to appeal to you to put this country first in everything you are doing and planning to do. Finally, as you start your campaign, please, in the name of God, have our future in mind and try to leave a safe country for us. This is not the time to settle scores. This is the best gift you could give us.
Assembling eminent Nigerians to form what later became the National Peace Committee. This committee had the one-off mandate to facilitate peaceful elections in 2015. The National Sensitization Workshop held on 14 January 2015 provided an opportunity not just for the signing of the peace accord by all the presidential candidates in the general election of that year, but also for far-reaching commitments to accept the outcome of the election, no matter the result.
To all the presidential candidates, other candidates contesting other levels of elections, and fellow compatriots with their patriotism and interest in the peace. All of us will continue to share in the prayers and enthusiasm of the Peace Committee in peaceful, free, and fair elections in our nation. The task of ensuring peaceful elections in 2023 is our collective responsibility. Though we are all key stakeholders, we must say that it behoves on the candidates and the leaders of the various parties to lead the process of peaceful elections in our country. We are at a critical stage in our national life, where we have no choice but to promote national cohesion, love and hope in order to make desired progress. We cannot afford to continue to play politics of bitterness and division along ethnic and religious lines. This is because such kind of politics portends great danger to our unity, growth, and the sustenance of our democracy. We have to be mindful of the destructive impact of hate speech, fake news, and mindless propaganda, especially in a climate where the fabric of unity and stability still needs to be strengthened. Charge the candidates, their promoters and supporters to exercise restraint and seek to run their campaigns based on issues that affect our people. They should, by all means, avoid needless attacks on personalities and use of abusive language for those are the elements that cause chaos and crisis within elections. Political stability and growth of democracy in any country are usually measured by the quality of elections. In this regard, we expect our democracy to be consolidated in such a way that our electoral process will be seen to record incremental progress at the end of every election cycle. Unfortunately, this has not been the case, as there are signs of inconsistencies with the progress we make in our elections. As citizens of this great country, we all have the responsibility to redirect our steps, strive to work harder, and do the right thing to avoid the stagnation of our democracy. Since I left office in 2015, I've been involved in the process of promoting democracy across Africa. My experience as an election observer, having led observation missions to many countries, is that many African countries are working hard to improve their elections and deepen the roots of democracy in their land. Many of us will recall that elections held recently in Kenya, Ghana, and the Gambia. And I am pleased that peaceful outcomes were recorded in those countries. In 2023, I expect our country to raise the bar of credible and transparent elections by ensuring that our electoral processes are peaceful, free, and fair. Once again, I urge our candidates to lead the charge and strive to make our electioneering issue-based, clean, and violence-free. Thank you all. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The National Peace Committee, led by its chairman, General Salami Abubakar, for their commitment and dedication to supporting peaceful elections in Nigeria and for facilitating peace generally across the country. As the President, I have always reiterated my commitment to peaceful, credible, and transparent elections, and what the Peace Committee has been doing over the years aligns with my belief that Nigeria needs peace in order to achieve credible elections. However, the rise of fake news and misinformation continue to pose a significant threat to democracy in Nigeria. It has shifted focus away from issue-based campaigns to amplify the potential for personal attacks, insults, and incitement. It has also significantly diminished the civility and decency in public discourse and debate. The initiatives undertaken by National Peace Committee to commit all political actors to issue-based campaign devoid of incitement, personal insults, and attacks is a welcome development. The 2023 general election is more than an election. It is an opportunity to serve Nigeria, to defend Nigeria, and to uphold her unity and progress. Therefore, I call on all Nigerians, political parties, politicians, security agencies, the Independent National Electoral Commission, and all stakeholders to ensure that Nigeria is placed first above regional and sectional claims. I appeal to the contestants, especially their publicity agents and media advisors, to shun personal attacks, avoid insults and incitement, reject the spread of fake news, and commit to issue-based campaigns and political rallies. Once again, let me emphasize that everything must be done to support the National Peace Committee in their work to ensure peaceful elections in Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
May I, by agreement, respectfully invite the chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, Engineer Yabagi Yusuf Sani, to disclose and affirm the commitment of the political parties and their presidential candidates to peaceful campaigns. 60 seconds.
Let me please stand on the existing protocol and, of course, recognize the national chairman of the National Peace Committee in person of General Abdulsalami Abubakar, GCFR, and to affirm that as political parties who are the key stakeholders in the process of deepening democracy, conducting elections, we commit to the peaceful, credible, reliable, and all-inclusive elections in the most populous nation on the continent of Africa, Nigeria. I pray Allah to make that happen and make us proud as leaders, not only on the continent of Africa, but in the Committee of Nations. So on behalf of all the political parties, I congratulate Nigerians that 2023 elections is going to be free, fair, and credible. Thank you for the opportunity to say this.
Thank you very much, Chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Council, Engineer Yabagi Yusuf Sani, for that pledge on behalf of the 18 political parties. Now is the time to subscribe to the peace accord. And as I indicated earlier, there are 4 tables. Each of the tables will accommodate 4 political parties, party chairman or other senior official of the party, and the presidential candidate or vice presidential candidate. For each of the 4 tables, there is a 5th table. That 5th table will be used by the INEC chairman, the Inspector General of Police, and the chairman of the Peace Committee as the last page for the signatories to the peace accord. Accordingly, I will respectfully invite the national chairman of Accord Party, Mohammed Lawal Nalado, and the candidate of the party, Christopher Imomole, Kenneth Udeze, national chairman, Action Alliance, and the candidate, Hamza Al-Mustafa, Omoyole Sowore is the chairman of African Action Congress and also the candidate of the African Action Congress. You will be directed accordingly to the table. Ralph Okenwosu, National Chairman, African Democratic Congress, and the candidate of the party, Dumebi Kachiku. National Chairman, Action Democratic Party, and also the candidate of the Action Democratic Party, Yusuf Sani Yabagi. The next table, and please remember, and this is for the attention of the signatories to the accord. After endorsing the accord, kindly stay back on the platform. Second table, Abdullahi Adamu, National Chairman of Progressives Congress, and the candidate, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, or the Vice Presidential candidate, Alhaji Shetima. All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, National Chairman Victor Ikechukwu Oye, and the candidate, Chukwudi Peter Umadi. All Allied People's Movement, National Chairman Yusuf Dantale, candidate Princess Chichi Oje. Action People's Party, National Chairman Uche Nnamdi, candidate Charles Osita Nnamdi. Boot Party, National Chairman Sunday Adenuga, candidate Sunday Adenuga. Table 3. Table 3. National Chairman, Labour Party, Julius Aburi. Candidate, Peter Gregory Obi. New Nigeria People's Party, National Chairman, Rufai Ahmed Al-Khali. Candidate, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. National Chairman, National Rescue Movement, Isaac Ude, candidate Felix Osakwe. National Chairman, People's Democratic Party, Iyorcha Ayu, or other high-ranking official of the party, and the candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. People's Democratic Party National Chairman, Falalu Bello, and candidate, Kolawole Abiola.
Chairman INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. I confirm that the political parties have appended their signatures along with their candidates to the peace accord. May you respectfully endorse also the last pages of the National Peace Accord.
My job is very easy, and it's been made easier by what has taken place. So really and truly, we want to thank you. But first, we start by thanking God, the creator of heaven and earth, the sustainer of our lives, and the sustainer of our country, who has guided and brought us so far. We want to thank in a very special way, on behalf of the members of the Peace Committee, our chairman, whom, as you can see from his condition, has defied his physical ailments to be with us. Chairman, sir, your devotion, dedication to the cause that we've just tried to enact is what inspires us. The President of the National Assembly, the Senate President and the Speaker, members of the National Assembly, we want to thank you, especially through your collaboration with the President, and in a very special way, I appreciate our President for fast-tracking the processes required to put our electoral processes on an even keel. We are convinced that these developments have inspired and will inspire more confidence in ordinary Nigerians, and sooner than later, we believe that the doors of our freedom to a truly democratic country will begin to open. We want to thank in a very special way and use, as it is said, the Inspector General of Police as a point of contact to say how deeply appreciative we are of the security agencies for the great work that they do and continue to do. The police is not only our friend, the police is a friend of democracy. I want to congratulate those on whose behalf we are here, namely those who have invited us to this very solemn ceremony. It looks perfunctory, it looks formal, but it has deep implications, because what you have done signposts your commitment to the processes of democracy. I want to thank in a very special way the ordinary people of Nigeria, whose love for democracy remains quite relentless. We ask God to continue to bless us, and as our young girl said, that we will leave a country behind, that those who are coming after us will find things easy. The international community, we want to thank the ambassadors, but also extend our appreciation to international election monitors who have been with us and whose presence continues to inspire us to greater commitment to electoral transparency in Nigeria. The work of the Peace Committee, actually, we owe very, very special appreciation to the Swiss Embassy, because it was the Swiss Embassy that first invited me in early 2014 to begin a conversation about the possibility of preparing for the fact that Nigeria's elections might go wrong in 2015. And this came through the inspiration of Kofi Annan and his experience with the elections in Kenya. As you know, the 2013 elections in Kenya had happened against the backdrop of great violence. And for us in Nigeria, I think Kenya should be learning from us, not the other way around, because whereas Kenya became independent only on the 12th of December 1963, Nigeria had been enjoying independence for a clear 3 years before that. But I think we derive inspiration from Kenya, and we commend them because they ran the most peaceful, most transparent, and most acceptable elections. and their institutions were able to see through that process. We hope, therefore, that the lesson we can learn from them is that these 2023 elections, despite the anxieties and the fears, that by the grace of God, elections will be free, fair, and credible. The IG, the chairman, in their speeches, made reference to the deep concerns that ordinary Nigerians are having, that whereas INEC is making tremendous progress, we are witnessing activities by political actors that don't do justice to the process. That is the unacceptable dilemma of vote buying. Now, we are aware of the capacity of this process to undermine the entire project of democracy. Yes, Nigerians are poor. Yes, Nigerians are suffering. But none of that is a substitute. And politicians must not exploit the weaknesses of our people in the way and manner that has made vote buying part of our culture. We hope that with the penalties already spelled out in the chairman of INEC's speech and the IG, that those who compromise the process will face the wrath of the law. I want to thank the chairman of INEC and his able team for inspiring greater confidence in the process. We want to assure you of our constant support. And for the members of the media, we want to thank you for being with us all the way. We commend you and we appreciate the great work that you do. The EU ambassador has already made a point. We want to thank them very sincerely for the great support that they've continued to render to the Peace Committee. The members of the Peace Committee collect absolutely no penny for their work. All our travels and other bills and the administration of the work of the Peace Committee, the bills are being footed by the European Union and the Swiss Embassy, and we really want to really and truly thank them. Finally, let me express my deep appreciation to Father Barkindo, who is the head of the Secretariat, and all the staff at the Kuka Center who have done such a tremendous job of setting all this together and getting us to where we are. Finally, the Minister of the FCT, we extend our very, very special appreciation to him, because when we approach the management of this facility, despite the high cost we were charged, we were told that the facility was not available. We thank our chairman who approached the minister, and we thank the minister for making this facility available to us. We are very much assured and encouraged by this collaboration and support. So once again, we want to thank you, and to all of you who are contestants, we know that one of you is going to be the president of Nigeria. Our fears and our anxieties and hopes have already been articulated. May God give you the confidence, the opportunity to do what needs to be done for the progress of our country. God bless you all, and God bless our dear country. Thank you very much.
First is that we think about Nigeria first, because we are all Nigerians, and that we ensure that it's an issue-based campaign, not based on ethnicity, religion, my tone, or any form of bias, but based on character, competence, capacity, commitment to building a better Nigeria. Especially if you listen to the young girl who humbly requested that we do the right things.
Well, the advice is that everybody must calm down. At least one person must lead at the end of the day. So there's no point creating violence among ourselves just because of election. We are one Nigeria and will remain one Nigeria forever. So I advise that everybody should calm down and pray to God for God to elect the next president for us.